The reason we had to come out so abruptly is that we want to take you to this live event now in Bloemfontein. The suspended ANC Secretary General Ace Magashule is now addressing his supporters.
Very bright for the Secretary General. The state case is getting weaker and weaker.
So, there's no case.
Yeah, so far
so good.
So far so good. Don't panic. It's clear that even the arrest was unlawful. It's clear that the SG, during the tenure, was not an accounting officer, so he can't be dragged into some things of supply chain. But it's also clear that if he's a beneficiary of a corrupt act, you can't charge him with the perpetrators in the same case. It's a matter that will be argued after lunch, but so far, so good. Thank you very much. The SG has to go for lunch. We'll come back to you after the final submission. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you listen after lunch. There's no case here. I want to see the 70 judges.
All right, so it was a very brief address there by Ace Magashule and those who have come out to support him, among them Dakota Lekwete, who is a member of the National Executive Committee of the ANC, who was addressing there. In fact, he's the one who spoke most of the time during that really brief address by those people who are gathered there. From what I picked up, Dakota Lekwete saying that the state's case is getting weaker and weaker. All right, let me take you to ENC's Masego Ratlaga, who is on standby for us from Bloemfontein. Masego, I believe that you are on standby and you're about to get some further reactions.
Well, actually, Tulas, I was about to speak to our colleague Siphamandla Goke, of course, to ask him what happened inside court, but it's fine. I believe you'll be crossing to him a little later on, perhaps. I'm not sure what's going on. I think maybe you'll be going to him a little later on, but here are the supporters still surrounding the suspended Secretary General of the ANC. Let's see if he will speak to them right now to tell them what happened in court. To us, he said he doesn't want to speak any further except to say that the charges are trumped up. Let me just try and see if I can get my mic in there to hear exactly what he's saying very quickly. Eshi, how are you feeling about the support that you're getting out here from these supporters?
No, the support. Let me tell you, I'm happy with this comrades. We just want to time it to show you the support we have in this province and in the country. And I know probably judgment might be reserved. And when judgment comes out, I think will come in our numbers because God is with us.
What happened inside court? Do you still believe that these charges are trumped up?
The charges are really trumped up. You will hear after lunch when my legal reps present my case. In fact, I was wrongfully charged. I was not supposed to be charged. I'm not an accounting officer by law. I have not received any cent. We want to hear what is it that they want from me.
Okay, Tilas, I'm getting pushes from the security of the suspended Secretary General. In the meantime, let me try and get NEC member Dr. Dakota Lekwete to speak to us. I think they don't want the SG to continue speaking to us. Dr. Lekwete, you here obviously to support the suspended SG. You still believe in his innocence?
Indeed, I still believe in his innocence. I've long said through an opinion article that charges which were brought against the SG are just malicious charges, flimsy charges, and they were intended for another agenda, which is an agenda of diversion. Because by now, as the African National Congress, we need to ensure that we create enough jobs, we make South Africa safe, we ensure that potholes are patched, jobs are created, and infrastructure is rolled out. That must be the focus of the ANC. But these malicious intentions of suspending stepping aside of the SG is just a diversion, and it's unfortunate. This is done at the expense of all South Africans, and this puts up a bleak future for all South Africans, because we are not focused now on things that we need to do, of service delivery, of ensuring that we unify the ANC, of ensuring that we grow the economy of the country and we develop South Africa. That's what we are supposed to be working on, rather than being brought to court on flimsy charges against the SG. It's very clear. If he's a beneficiary of a corrupt act, then you can't charge him with perpetrators in the same case. But secondly, is that the SG, at the time of this thing, he was not an accounting officer. Supply chain was not under his ambit on a full-time basis. There was an accounting officer in the form of a DG and an HOD who were responsible for appointing service providers.
Obviously, the National Director of Public Prosecutions did believe that this case, there are prospects to prosecute this case. So what's your opinion then of the judiciary, if you feel as if these charges are trumped up, but it looks like the NPA is saying there are charges?
Look, the NPA can say there are charges. We can't second guess the administrators of law and justice, but so far they are failing to prove their case. But secondly, is that it has become very clear that even the arrest of the SG was unlawful. It did not follow procedure in terms of the Criminal Procedure Act, in particular Section 34, 37, and all other sections. It has become very clear that there are motives behind this particular case, and we're not going to allow those motives to continue, because that will be a travesty of justice. He must be the last leader to be treated in this country.
Just very quickly to both of you, SG, 10 June, it's another postponement yet again. It looks like, this is going to be dragged on until the 55th elective conference happens. What happens with the SG? It seems like he's locked outside in the cold.
I will be there.
Look, the SG is a law-abiding citizen. If the case goes on, he will have to be in the case to respect the law and the rule of law. But we'll never say to those who manipulate the law to undermine the rights of others should thrive in this particular country. It's illegal, and there's nothing illegal that can be legal. There's nothing unlawful that can be lawful. It's unlawful to trump up charges against any person or any citizen, and that cannot be tolerated, because that's a manipulation, it's an abuse of authorities.
Thank you very much to the both of you. The suspended SG of the African National Congress, as well as NEC member Ndate Dikota Lekwete. I believe, Tula Sizwe, we do have my colleague, the senior reporter, who was inside court. Sipa, please update us on what's happened inside court today.
Before I do that, Maseko, allow me to just get a comment from this gentleman. He always comes to court to support Ace Magashule. His name is Ngrai Ngwenya from Mpumalanga. He's also been suspended from the ANC. Ngrai Ngwenya, thank you very much for your time. You've been suspended by the ANC. You are here to support Mr. Magashule. Under what capacity?
No, as an individual person, not from the ANC, I'm here as Ngrai Ngwenya to support Ace Magashule.
You have said in the past that you believe that the charges are politically motivated. You still hold the same view?
I'm still holding the same position.
The matter has been postponed to the 10th or to the 6th rather of June 2022. What do you make of that postponement, even though civil litigation continues inside, but the criminal aspect of the pretrial has been postponed? That signals further delays.
No, you can see because there is a problem. Because I don't see why they don't finish the case, because there's no case. Why they postpone it? Because Ace must go back to the office of the ANC and work for the people.
Are you worried that the national conference will come and Ace Magashule will not be able to participate? Because by the look of things, if pre-trial proceedings are going to start in June, by December, the trial would have not wrapped up.
Yes, I'm worried. That's why I'm saying there's a problem in the ANC, serious problem.
Okay, Ngrai Ngwenya, thank you very much for time. Now, let's go back to what transpired inside. So today, in the morning, the first part of the proceedings was mainly about pre-trial hearing. It was set down for 2 days, today and tomorrow. However, However, there was an application that was brought by 4 accused persons. They include businessman Edwin Sodi, and they include Tulani Zulu, or should I say Tabani Zulu, as well as Mr. Ace Magashule. They have brought forward an application whereby they are compelling the state to provide them with a list of witnesses implicating them in this matter. They also want these charges to be withdrawn. They are challenging the manner in which they were charged, and they are asking for further particulars. They are alleging and arguing that the state has failed to furnish them with all the material and the information that they have requested, but mainly the gist of their applications center around them seeking a list of witnesses that are implicating them, saying in the absence of that, they want the court just to dismiss these charges. And they are also arguing that the state is dragging its feet in this matter. Many people were eagerly awaiting to hear what was going to transpire inside court today regarding Ace Magashule's former personal assistant. Well, I can tell you that she has not been charged as we speak. Earlier on, I spoke to Mchunzi Maka, who speaks on behalf of the National Prosecuting Authority. He told me that they had initially thought they were going to charge the former PA of Mr. Magashule, but as of now, the former PA has not been charged, and he said he will not be able to divulge what has been causing the delay. Remember, she was initially said to be the star witness of the state. However, she changed and said no, she was not going to be the state witness, and she was quoted in the media as saying yet she was forced or coerced into becoming a state witness, something that she did not agree to be part of. So as we speak, she has not been charged. Let me just make way for this Mr. Ace Magashule's car as he is moving now. We'll go back inside court at 2 p.m. when we will resume with the proceedings. So when we go back at 2 o'clock, this is what will happen. We will have 2 more lawyers who will argue on behalf of the remaining 2 accused. We have already heard from 2 legal representatives of 2 accused. There are now only 2 that are left. In total, there are 4 applicants who are challenging the way they've been charged. So 2 down, 2 more to go, and then the state will come back and respond afterwards.
Locate us in terms of these proceedings. Are there now 2 separate proceedings, one being criminal, that is now postponed to June, and the other being civil? And that has to do with what? Is this an application now for the charges to be withdrawn altogether?
Indeed, there are 2 proceedings now. The first criminal pre-trial proceedings were postponed earlier this morning to June this year. As we speak, the proceedings inside court are underway, but now we are dealing with what is called civil litigation. 4 applicants want the state to furnish them with further particulars, and those particulars, they include a list of witnesses that are implicating them in this case, and they are saying there is some information that has not been provided to them, which is key in preparing for this case. They want all those documents and all that information. However, they are challenging the manner in which they were charged. They are saying they were charged unconstitutionally, and they are saying the way they were arrested and charged is illegal, and therefore they want the charges to be set aside. So that application comprises of all those factors. One, they are challenging the nature of the charges and the way they were charged, and they want the charges withdrawn. But they are saying, in the meantime, if you are unable to withdraw the charges, furnish us with a list of people implicating us here, your witnesses, and we need more information so that we can prepare for this case. So those are 2 matters that we are dealing with now. One, criminal pre-trial matter postponed to June, because you cannot continue with that matter without dealing with these applications that have been brought by these 4 applicants. In total, there are 15 accused persons here, 10 individuals and 5 companies. Out of these 10 individuals, 4 have decided to apply for the charges to be re-looked at, possibly withdrawn, and also they are requesting more information, including the list of witnesses implicating them and further particulars. Other witnesses had to, other accused persons had to leave earlier today because they are not part of this application, the civil litigation that is underway in court as we speak today. However, they were told to come back in June, where we will recommence with the issue of the pre-trial proceedings.
All right, thank you for that. That's ENCA's Siphamandla Goke out there in Bloemfontein at the High Court. Also, there is Masego Ratlaga watching proceedings and getting reactions there from the various role players. You heard there from Dakota Lekhwete, who is a member of the National Executive Committee of the ANC, as well as the suspended ANC Secretary General Ace Magashule.